You're allowing the embarrassment from the past and the potential embarrassment of the future to keep you from doing what you got to do what's best for you. Because y'all, let's have a vulnerable conversation about embarrassment. I believe embracing embarrassment is literally the key to living out your best, most authentic life. But we first have to understand what it is and how do we do that. So embarrassment simply is a feeling and emotion of self-consciousness that drives shame, anxiety, and self-doubt. Now, when we think about self-doubt, when we think about embarrassment, you have to think about how embarrassment literally changes our behavior. It literally shapes how we think about ourselves, how we perceive others, and how we perceive others perceive us. So here's the dope part is research actually says that this starts to happen to us around age 2. Now, if you got kids, think about this. Think about how they start to think about themselves when they're thinking about how others are thinking about them. Think about how your kids start to think about themselves when they're thinking about how others are thinking about them. Think about that when it comes to you. Now, if we've been dealing with this since age 2, think about all the times you felt embarrassed and how you changed your behavior after that part. Think about that. I'll give you a quick story for me. I remember when I was in 8th grade and I was at this thing called late night. I'm standing outside, kicking it, hanging out with my friends, and all of a sudden, whoosh, I got pantsed. One of my homeboys comes up and he pants me. And I just had on hoop shorts and some drawers. It just is what it is. I was cheeks out in front of everybody. I was super embarrassed. And from that moment forward, I started changing my behavior. I was wearing boxers and an extra pair of shorts under my shorts. And my mom was like, why are you doing that? And I never told her the reason why. But I just knew if I was in that situation ever again, I was not going to be embarrassed to that degree. Now, that's just one story of how being embarrassed changes our behavior. But I'm sure you could think of numerous stories of how you've been embarrassed and what that did was that changed your behavior. So now as an adult, you're trying to figure out how do I live my best life? I got these dreams and goals that I want to achieve, but you're stuck in analysis paralysis and you're allowing self-doubt to prevent you from making moves. When really at the root of it, it's probably embarrassment. You're allowing the embarrassment from the past and the potential embarrassment of the future to keep you from doing what you got to do what's best for you. Because you're afraid of haters, you're afraid of people being against you, not believing in you, you're afraid of people calling you corny, all those different things. But the fact is, it's gonna happen regardless. Because if you allow yourself to be caged by embarrassment and self-doubt, that's gonna increase your negative self-talk. That's gonna increase imposter syndrome. And when you have those things going for you and you're allowing yourself to be stuck in that, you're not gonna take action in a way that's gonna allow you to live out your best life. So what do we have to do? We have to get to a space that allows us to be self-aware about what the heck is going on. You have to get to the root and figure out, okay, if this is a feeling of embarrassment that's increasing anxiety, it's increasing fear, a fear of the unknown. It's I don't want to feel that icky feeling. You have to be able to embrace it. When you can embrace it and get to the root of it, it's going to allow you to start making moves because you can feel it, then you can reveal it, and now that you've revealed it, you're aware of it, and now you can figure out what do I need to do? What tool do I have? What levels of affirmation, confirmation, accountability, like, what do I need to do in order to navigate and press through despite the embarrassment that's going to come up? Because you're still going to feel feelings of embarrassment. You're still going to have self-doubt. You're still going to have negative self-talk and people that are going to go against you and not believe you. All those things are still going to be there. But your ability to be self-aware and develop something that's called personal efficacy is what's going to be the key that's going to allow you to embrace the embarrassment and keep pushing regardless. So personal efficacy is your belief in yourself. Belief, period. If you can have a belief in yourself, it doesn't matter how embarrassing something may perceivably be, right? That's the key. Perceivably may be. You may perceive it when you're confident, the perceivingness of embarrassment is less, right? Like you don't perceive embarrassment the same way you did when you're insecure. So if you can have a belief in yourself, this is going to enable you to take more action because you believe that you can do the things that you were born and created to do. But if you're not self-aware about what's going on and you don't have a personal efficacy, embarrassment is going to hold you hostage to your past and the potential future that may never come to fruition because you didn't embrace the embarrassment that is going to happen. So what we need to do is we need to get to a level of self-assurance, a level of confidence that says, despite what happens, I believe in me. I know who I am. I'm firm in what it is that I want to do. I'm firm in my future and understanding that I have a mission and a vision and a purpose on my life, and I'm going to pursue it despite all the embarrassment that will occur. It's embarrassing to make videos. It's embarrassing to pursue a vision that nobody else can see. It's embarrassing and it's humbling because humiliation is a part of life. There are things that are going to be humiliating as you're on your journey. But there's also going to be people who believe in you. There's also going to be people who are going to cheer you on. And you have to make sure you're focusing on those specific things and not just focusing on the things that drive insecurity and drive feelings of humiliation and shame and anxiety. So here's my takeaway for you, okay? I got three things I need you to think about. I need you to get to the root. The same way that I was able to identify certain things, you need to be able to identify what is so embarrassing for you. What's the worst that can happen? And then allow yourself to sit and feel those emotions and feel it, embrace it, and say, okay, now that I feel it, I'm aware of it. Now I need to figure out how do I manage it and move on so that way I can get what is mine to get. Number two, I need you to figure out whose measuring stick are you using, right? Like whose measuring stick, whose levels are you using? Who are you comparing yourself to that's really driving this embarrassment? Because you may be comparing yourself to somebody using somebody else's measuring stick that ain't meant for you. So you're really inducing your own embarrassment that isn't necessary. So the next thing I need you to do is to write it down, make a plan, and figure out how you're going to take action so you can embrace the embarrassment that's going to come with you pursuing your vision and mission for your life, with you pursuing being your best self, with you pursuing being your most authentic self. This journey is going to be filled with levels of humiliation. It's going to be filled with embarrassment, but it's also going to be filled with joy and love and peace and all the amazing things and prosperity and abundance. But you have to be able to embrace the embarrassment in order to get to the other side of it. I want you to remember that you are worthy of living out your best life. You are worthy of embracing the embarrassment that's keeping you from being who you were created to be.